Hey Seekers, Zeta here. So, where do I even begin? So much has happened, I feel like, in the last week. Everything is magic, you know? So, first things first, I quit my job last Monday. I can't believe it was just last Monday. It feels like that part of my life is just so over that it's already years ago. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit. I'm on day 61 of a 78-day tarot journey in which I just shuffled the cards 60 days ago and I set the intention that it was going to guide me through the next 78 days and I was going to study the cards in depth before I started reading for people again. I've already started reading for people again, but like I have learned so much more than I thought that I would. And also, it's just crazy to me that I could have shuffled a deck 60 days ago and I've gone through every single thing in the order that it's come up. You know, that's crazy cool to me. So on the day that I quit my job, it was day 54 and I pulled the 8 of Cups, and that card inspired me to do what I knew was right for me. So what I've been doing for the last like 60 days is journaling about the card that I get in the morning and then seeing how it plays out in my day. But today, or on the day 54, on the 15th of May 2017, I was like, I pulled the 8 of Cups and I knew, I was like, okay, I gotta quit. I've got to just do what's best for me and just leave it all behind once and for all, because you know, I know what's good for me and that place was not good for me. So I pulled a few cards from a few other decks just to like give me a little something extra, you know, and this is what I have written in my journal. It says, "These cards combined gave me the clarity and strength to quit the vineyard." I used to work at a vineyard that will remain unnamed. The 4 of Coins showed me that I can quell and hang on to what little I have, or I can do what all the other cards said and set my sights higher and invest in my creative talents. Something about all these cards combined in my thoughts just felt so right that I composed the resignation email, hit send, and then I just felt like this huge weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. I guess that brings me to the point of this video, which is great because I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. The tarot really is a tool to live by. And what I mean by that is that it's not just like a fun thing to do, although it is very fun. You know, like throw some cards, lay them down, you know, soak in the wisdom and be like, oh my gosh, this is so great, it's going to change my life, and then do nothing. Excuse me. You can use the most beautiful cards or go to one of the most famous readers and have the most amazing experience during the reading, but if you don't actually use the wisdom that's given to you, it's good for nothing. You know, what have you just done? You've just like played with some pieces of paper and now you're just going to keep repeating the same cycles over and over and over again. No, that's not the point. The point of the tarot is to create a change in your life, to give you the information that you need, or the validation, the reassurance, the tough love, or just a boost of confidence that you need to make the decision to change certain aspects of your life. Buster is a master tarot reader and he agrees with me, so it's the truth. So after I quit my job because the tarot told me to, no, just kidding, we make informed decisions using the tarot. We don't just do things because the tarot tells us to. I found out that a coffee shop is opening up in my town, which is super exciting because first of all, coffee. Second of all, I've wanted to work in a coffee shop since I was a little girl. I've always thought that baristas were the coolest people alive, and I knew that one day I wanted to be working in a coffee shop and have tattoos. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get this job at the coffee shop. So as soon as I found out about this job, I'm talking like 20 minutes later, I hop in my car, I go down to the shop where it's still under construction, and I march right in and I introduce myself. And the guy who owns it is really nice, and I think we got along pretty well, but I left because like people were starting to come in to do the construction on it and I just didn't want to get in the way. So the day that I went to check that out was the 18th, it was the Thursday, and then Friday I just kind of let it sit, even though I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot to give him my name and number. I got his name and number, but I forgot to give him mine. And that was just like eating away at me. And then Saturday, I pulled the Eight of Wands. No, I didn't. I pulled the Ace of Wands. And I just took that as a sign to just like go do it. Use that burst of energy. So I was all happy and ready to like go back and give him this card that I got. Let me see if I can find it for you. I had like an original copy of the Extraordinary Oracle or Extraordinary Oracle. And so since I bought the newest one, and this one is different, it had some errors fixed. That was, you know, the errors that were in the original one, they were fixed. I'm getting a little flustered talking about this, but yeah, so I grabbed the card in this deck, this one, there we go, with the cup of tea on it, and I wrote Zeta Gentry, Card Slinger, and Coffee Enthusiast, and then I put my number on there, and I put like a cute little sticker on it to make it more blingy, I guess, and got in my car and I drove over to the coffee shop and found that it wasn't open. He wasn't there working on it. And then I remember that he told me that he worked at this restaurant. And I was like, no, I can't go to the restaurant and like hand him this card while he's at work in front of a bunch of people. Like, I can't do that. And I was, you know, I put my tail between my legs and I went home, and then I was like, I can't pass this up. I can't pass up this Ace of Wands energy, you know, that will kill me. I will regret it forever if I don't go back and give him this card with my name and my number on it so he remembers me. So of course, I get back in my car, I go all the way back to town, and I drive to the restaurant, and I'm like, I just can't do it, I can't do it. So I drove around, and then as I was driving around the block, I was like, I can't go home without doing this, so I drove back around, and I got to the restaurant, I was like, I can't do it. And so I started driving home again, and I got like halfway home, and I was like, I won't be able to sleep tonight if I don't give this man this card with my freaking name and number on it. So I turned around again. And these people probably thought that I was like the biggest freak in the world, driving around in circles around the freaking restaurant downtown. And so, but I did it. The last time I finally parked in a really awkward way outside of the building on like a side street, which I later couldn't get out of. It was a real mess. I shouldn't have done that, but I hopped out of my car, I ran into the restaurant, and I gave him the card with my name and number. And I think he was like, who is this girl? But I was kind of embarrassed. But you know what? I think he remembers me now, so there's that. And that's what I'm really talking about when I say living by the tarot, is taking the information and the inspiration and just choosing to do things with it. And it makes life so much more magical and so much fun. You know, if I hadn't taken the advice of that Eight of Cups and quit my job that day, I would have never known about the coffee shop opening in time for me to actually put my foot in there. I mean, it's still under construction. I think it's gonna open in a few weeks, but like, that guy probably remembers me. You know, I hopped on the chance, I set my intention, I put it out there, and there's magic working. I don't know how the magic is really going to play out. I just know that I've set the intention that I really want to get that job, or that, you know, this experience will be the catalyst to something much greater. It will give me the energy for something more. But that's what I'm talking about. That's why we do this. That's why we read the tarot. That's why we choose to live such magical lives. You know, life is for the living. It's not just for the dreaming and the thinking and the reflecting. You're supposed to do things. You're supposed to build the life that you want to live. There are so many fun ways to use the tarot, and I'm really excited to open up an Etsy shop so I can offer readings for you that cater to specific things. Like the one that I've designed right now, I'm just going to look at my notes right here, is a reading that helps you figure out what you have to offer. Because that was something that was really difficult for me for a while, you know. I knew that I had some talent, I knew that I was capable, but I just didn't know what I had to give. And that's really a frustrating place to be, and if you're in there right now, I feel you and I feel for you, because it's not much fun. But the good news is that you can either do a reading for yourself to help you figure out what you have to offer, or you can come to me once I fully set up the shop and you know, we can work together to kind of illuminate that for you so that you have the information and the power to start giving what you have to give, which is really one of the most beautiful parts of life, is like having the opportunity to give of ourselves in ways that's completely in alignment with who we are. Speaking of the shop really quickly, I'm not gonna open it quite yet, and I may actually be going through a name change because I just found out that there's already another Everyday Magic out there, and they're already doing a great job, and I don't want to like step on that. They had the idea first. Kudos to them. They have a shop set up, like an actual brick and mortar store in Durham, North Carolina, which I'm from North Carolina if you didn't know, so I'm probably gonna go check that out. I'm really excited about that. I'm just glad that it exists. Like, I don't even care that I can't use the name that I had my heart set on, because I'm just so excited that somebody is out there doing what I wanted to do, because even their feed and their store is like everything that I had envisioned in my own mind, and instead of being upset about it, I'm just like, that's awesome! I want to go check them out. So I am a little bit bummed that now I'm going to have to like go back to the drawing board and figure out what I'm going to call my feed and my channel and my Etsy shop, but you know, that's fine. It was meant to be this way, so there's gonna be another name change coming soon. I know, the people that have known me for like a really long time and have seen like all the changes that I've gone through, they're probably like, again? But this time there's a really good excuse, like somebody already has the name, so I kind of have to change the name. But anyway, so thank you so much for watching. I'm going to end it here because I think the video is reaching 10 minutes long, and I want to try and keep them pretty short. 10 minutes is short to me. This is like the short as I can go. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, be brave, be kind, and stay curious. Namaste.